Thanks for tuning into the Urban Scope podcast. I got another one here for you. Just want to discuss DJ Academics. Gillie um, from $1 million Worth of Game, his comments in regards to he believes artists are not dropping because of DJ Academics posting first week album sales and the lack of album sales from first week rap album sales. It's kind of very interesting, this topic. I say just from the simple stand fact of no one's really selling any records anymore because everything is streaming now. So back when I was buying albums, of course, there were huge first number album sales, and you could tell the success of an album mostly from the first week album sales. But just kind of like how Wallow said in the video, that Nas is Illmatic, which is easily one of my top 5 albums of rap albums of all time. It only sold about 60,000 in the first week, but it went along to be a multi-platinum selling album, very critically acclaimed. One of the albums that you can't tell the story of hip hop without a doubt. So, this was back in 1994. So first week album sales aren't everything. I believe I couldn't find the data, but I know people made reference to it before. I want to say Jermaine Dupri did. He had a rap group, a kid rap group called Crisscross. They had the song "Make You Want to Jump, Jump." They only sold about 50,000 in the first week, but that album went multi-platinum. Went on to sell, multi-platinum records and sales. So, first week albums aren't everything, but I think it's also other issues at play to why people aren't dropping albums anymore. And the number one reason people aren't dropping albums anymore is for the simple fact that it's not their primary source of income anymore. Artists get in the game to venture into other things now. You had rappers like Logic who said he wanted to get in the game just to be an actor. You had other artists who want to get in the game just to be, just to do a clothing line or do a shoe deal or do TV. It's other ways to make money now because music is, cut up into so many pieces and so many people have to touch the money before you get your cut. So they usually give you a budget. They usually cut you off a deal of like say, hey, if somebody say I got $1 million deal, but that deal is chopped up so much, it's probably only down to, a couple 100,000, if that. You have to pay a manager, you got to pay a lawyer, you got to pay the record label for the money that they caught from the studio time, for the tour dates, for the album promotions, things like that. So there's a lot of hands in the pot when it comes to the music industry, and that's why a lot of artists don't drop music as they used to. So that's just the one reason that people are not dropping albums anymore. It's not as lucrative. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, maybe even early 2010s, you could eat off just making rap, just off making your music and making appearances here and there and maybe, doing some stuff on the side. But now music has taken a back door to other ventures. You have artists like Rick Ross and artists like 50 Cent. He doesn't even put out music anymore unless it's for his TV show. He has about 20 TV shows, 20, 30 TV shows, they say in a tuck. And he's supposed to drop one more last album, but no telling when that will be. He's a very busy man, and music, like I said, is not as lucrative as it used to be. And it's very time consuming. And it's a lot of um, manipulation they want you to do to your art. When you're putting out a movie or a TV show, you're not as limited as much as you are with the music. The music, you can only perform it in certain places. You have to make edited versions. Movies, you just put the movies out. People love it. People criticize it, whatever. It goes out, and you pretty much don't have to compromise as much, especially when you are in movies. Music is a lot different. You can't go to the Super Bowl and perform your explicit song word for word. You have to get it approved. You have to do so many things. So it's much of a headache to these artists. So that's just the one reason I think that artists are not putting out albums, because it's just not lucrative anymore as it used to be. Another reason I think is just for people don't put out music as much is because they lose they lose or they lost love for the art. Like I said, Erica Badu said once ago, they try to make me compromise my art just because they want to make it club friendly, or they want to make it cater to or pander to a certain market. When you come into the game, you have a idea of pretty much who you want to cater your music to, and you just want to make it genuinely. You're not thinking about radio play. You're not thinking about getting, attacking a certain demo. You're just trying to get your music out there. But as you go in the industry, you find out the politics of it. It kind of deters you from the game. You know, it kind of gets you out of your way. They want you to degrade women. They want you to do things that are totally against what you believe in. Going back to, not to be too spiritual or anything, but the devil was the minister of music. He manipulated a lot of things through music back in those days. So that's something that still is prevalent today, I believe, with the messages they put in the music. Have you ever listened to the music lately? The radio lately? It's been terrible. I listened to the radio and it's full of advertisements. It's full of artists talking about the same thing, bragging about their money, bragging about the women, bragging about the cars. It's no genuine message in the music anymore. And that's another reason people lose the love for the industry and for the game is because, just simply for the fact of you got to deal with so much stuff and you got to deal with people telling you how to make the music and who to make the music for.
The game ain't in me no more.
So
None of it.
another reason is because, like I said before, albums are streaming now. You can go on YouTube the day of an album drop and listen to every single song on YouTube and not pay a single dime for it. I don't think you need is a Wi-Fi or a mobile connection. So that deters people because that's, contributes to the part of music not being lucrative no more. And people are not listening to the music like they used to. People used to listen to album for months, year. People listen to the album a week or two now. Somebody else dropped, they own that album, and they don't go back to it until they make some kind of appearance or they go on some kind of verses or there's something happen with that artist and they go back to listen to that music. But the music is not sustainable like it used to be. Music used to be sustained for, for a long periods of time. So that's probably why people only dropping albums like every couple years now, because they're like, well, if you want to listen to my music, you won't have to listen to it for the next 3 years. So that'll force you to go back and listen to it. Artists like Rihanna, she became a billionaire off pretty much a cosmetic line. They're dying for her to drop another album, but she's not really budging on it. She did a Super Bowl appearance. She didn't have babies in between. She's living her life. She did what she needed to do in the industry. She dropped, a couple albums and got out. And I don't really blame her for it. The industry is not loving like it used to be. It's not rewarding as it used to be. All these different snubs and all these different unappreciative fans who think you're supposed to drop an album every week and, they don't take time to listen to the art and appreciate it. So, like I used to look at the album sales every Tuesday to see what the first week numbers are. I don't even look at the album sales anymore because it's streaming. And all of it is based off streams and so much politics with the streaming. So if if so many thousands of streams equal to one album sale. I don't think I ever listened to an album 1,000 times in my life. So how can that count for one sale? But I'm on my soapbox. So, but just tell me what you think about about that, about the first week album sales, and the reason why people are not people, were artists, hip hop artists are not dropping albums like they used to, or they're not dropping albums with the frequency that they used to. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast.